We play the same guitar. Hablamos el mismo idioma. We both want to write a song with Michelle Branch. Two of those things are true. One is false. You can already see one of the true ones, so I'll tell you which one I was lying about at the end of the video. But first, let's take a look at 5 things you can learn from Carlos Santana and put into your own music without just ripping him off. Learn, don't copy. Born in Mexico in 1947, Carlos Santana started off in the early 60s busking to pay for a Gibson SG that he wanted. He became a full-time musician in 1966 when he was chosen as the guitarist in a band that was being put together for the Sunday matinee at Bill Graham's Fillmore Auditorium. That same year, Carlos formed the Santana Blues Band and started to build a following on the San Francisco club circuit. By 1969, the band was signed to Columbia Records and shortened the name to just Santana. They got booked for Woodstock, and their first album hit number 4 on the Billboard Top 200. Carlos was always respected as a pioneer, and he was the first popular guitarist to fuse Latino and Afro-Cuban elements with rock music. A lot of what he did found its way into my playing, either firsthand or secondhand, and today I'm looking at 5 specific things he does that influence my lead playing, and that you can hopefully put into good use in your own ways. What I'm going to do here is roll about a minute-long miniature song that I made in which I use these things, and then we'll come back and examine them. I can tell you right now that this music sounds nothing like Santana, and that's the point of this Learn But Don't Copy playlist. I want to show you how you can take influences and make them into something that is uniquely your own, and I want to show you how the simplest of concepts can take important shape in your playing, if you're paying attention to them anyway. So let's get started. Okay, so right away in the verse of this mini song, I put to use 3 of the top 5 Carlos habits. We're going to put number 1 and 2 together and talk about using non-pentatonic notes in a pentatonic setting. The first one you see him do in Black Magic Woman, which I'll roll a little clip here. And what I'm talking about is the use of the 9th or 2nd note of the scale degree, especially on the top string, to add a lot of expressiveness into your pentatonic playing. So if I have the A pentatonic minor, the basic, he'll occasionally drop back to this note here, which is the 2nd, right? So you have A is the 1st, 2nd, or if you're saying the 9th because it's an octave higher. In any case, it adds a lot of expressive feel. And just that little addition of that one note is something that really bled into my playing, and I use all the time, and I feel like it adds a lot of expression to basic pentatonic scales. The other one I saw him add, and it's not even actually in the key technically, I see him use an Oye Come Va. Let's roll it here. And here he's doing what you would call the Dorian note. We're referring to modes there, and he's adding this note. It's the same fret, but on the 2nd string. But technically that's not in the key, that's an F sharp. And in the key of A minor, it's F. So you would have, if you're playing the full key, but he's playing. And it has a really cool quality to it, even though it's not supposed to fit. A lot of blues players will kind of use that too. And I found Carlos's use of it to be really interesting and add kind of a major lift. And when I say major, I mean like as in a major key, and add a major key kind of lift quality to something that's expressively minor. So between those 2 things, those 2 extra notes, you can really spice up your pentatonic. The third thing I heard Carlos doing that I loved is what's called ghost bends or prebends. You can see him do it here. And this is when you bend a note and you play it and then release the bend. In our little miniature song, I used it in the end of the verse bit, and it has a really nice quality to it. And all you're doing here is taking a note like this A note that you would bend up to a B, and starting with it bent before you hit the string. Wasn't something that I ever thought of doing until I saw him do it. Let's move on to number 4. Stop babbling. What do I mean by that? Well, as guitar players, most of us all develop this habit of playing nonstop. Unlike, say, sax players, we don't have to stop and take a breath, and so we tend to fill the entire space we're given with notes. Often I saw Carlos employing space, like in Soul Sacrifice here. And that's what I did with that chopped up part in the pre-chorus. So the takeaway is to take a breath, let there be some air, listen to the groove for a second, and then jump back in. This will also make you more aware of the music you're creating your parts over, and it will increase the connection. And finally, number 5 is one I have talked about nonstop. In fact, it was a feature of my top 5 habits of one of Carlos's bandmates, Neil Schon. Did you know that Journey's Neil Schon started as a member of Santana? Anyway, the big tip here is so important, and that is to write themes, melodies that are memorable and as relevant as a vocal part. Look at what Carlos does on Smooth here. I would argue that this guitar part is as memorable and important as Rob Thomas's vocal part is. Too many times when we do lead parts, we just have a stream of consciousness and a flurry of notes. Even if you aren't a shredder and you're playing soulfully, you can forget to also base it all around a theme. In our mini song here, I tried to put a memorable melody into place to start it. I could also tell you that I played that about 14 times when I was doing the recording to just get the slides right. I kept missing it. Anyway, the takeaway here is to always think of your theme or melody first, and then write or improv the rest of your lead parts around that. Okay, so there you have it. Now we have one question to answer, which is, of the 3 things I said at the beginning of this video, which one was a lie? We play the same guitar, hablamos el mismo idioma, we both want to write a song with Michelle Branch. Well, given that I only speak a little bit of Spanish, it's the 3rd one. I definitely would like to write a song with Michelle Branch. As always, guys, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I get back to everyone as soon as I can. And until next time, keep making great music. Hey friends, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. It makes the whole world better.